I could have took any person and made them bigger than any person. Everybody I knew, I offered them, bro, what you want? I ain't talking about no zone. I ain't talking about no how much you could do. Ask Convertible Burt. I can get on that phone call. What you want, 50? What you want, 52? How many you want? What you want? And so I just laid back, asking. Ask Convertible Burt. A lot of them dudes they look up to with the bigger chain and all that. The little homeboy sit right back there in the back. What's up? Come to the house later. When you talk about 305, do the history. And I have to talk like this because I'm a changed man. But in order for me to let you know I'm a changed man, you got to know what I've been through. I got to let you know who I was. Okay, man, they ain't know nothing about it. You come out there with Uncle Al with them 24 basemen. You come out there this week, we gonna double it up next week till you spend all your money, and mine ain't gonna run out. Cause I can go spend $30,000 every week on equipment and get Uncle Al. That's what I could do. Well, I'll make you a Ike. I'll make you a Bo Diddley, and I'll lay back. Ask Convertible Burt.
He was like that.
Like that. Man, this that 305 shit, man.
I see the look in your eyes, I see it on your face. You ain't grow with me, so you can't relate. Saw how you was moving, had to separate. I got from around your opportunity, came to elevate. I see the look in your eyes, I see it on your face. You ain't grow with me, so you can't relate. Saw how.
For 22 years, I lived with the weight of my choices, the consequences of my actions. But through it all, I discovered something powerful, the ability to change, to grow, to inspire. Albert Campbell, a.k.a. Big Money Sonny 305. Welcome to Surviving Self-Destruction.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for having me. And it's most definitely Big Money Sonny. It's most definitely 305. And I'd like to thank you, man, for inviting me for Surviving Self-Destruction podcast. It is so befitting to me that it almost seems like it's a part of me and a part of this story. Surviving self-destruction. That's what I live for. That's my goal. Thank you for inviting me to this podcast.
Most definitely. Most definitely. So let's start off with a hard truth and an icebreaker. You see online, there's a lot of prison stories. There's a lot of drug dealing kingpin stories. What makes your story more different than the million stories that's online where someone can easily access through YouTube?
Thank you for that question. First of all, what makes my story so uniquely different is I seen my self-destruction when I was 18 years old in a dream. I seen the prison cells. I seen the time that I got. And that dream told me, say, you know what? You think you smart because you smarter than all the other little guys around here. But you gonna go to prison and you gonna get a long time, but you gonna get out. And what makes my story, brother, uniquely different from the kingpins and the drug dealers that's just getting out is my redemption process. It is the way in which the drug game was introduced to me. The drug game was introduced to me likened to a baby that sucks on the nipple of his mother to get milk. I was fed the drug game from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. And once again, what makes it uniquely different, when I think about the apex of my rise, it doesn't stop with all the guys that I hit off and how much crack I sold and how many Benzes that I had and how many lives that I helped to destroy. The apex of my plight, of my story, is my redemption process and what got out, what happened to me in my life after I got out.
That's deep. That's deep. All right, so let's get to it then. Who is Albert Campbell today?
Man, another great question. Albert Campbell is a man that fears God. Albert Campbell is a man that made a oath and a promise to God. Like when we were young, when you called yourself brothers and we used to like cut cut our fingertips and it'll bleed, and we'll press the blood on each other, and we'll say we brothers for life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so my promise to God is deeper than that. Who is Albert Campbell? Every day it's a new Albert Campbell. Every day is another step in the process to redemption, to letting the world know that, brother, you could live in hell, and you could want to, and you could strive to, and you could pray to God on in His time to let you out. So I understand, man, the depth of my darkness. Nothing couldn't have helped me but God.
Got to give Him His grace.
And so I made a pact with Him that I shall not break for nothing on this planet. And I'm a new Albert Campbell every day.
So let's take a step back. So for those who may not know, who's listening for the first time, who may never even came across your name, who was Sonny off the Alf or Big Money Sonny? Give me a brief description, or just take me back to that person.
I remember looking at Bo Diddley, man, with a spark in my eyes to say, man, I'm going to be bigger than him one day. And I remember we used to work for Ike in that village, and he used to make so much money. And I said, you know what? I have the ingenuity to be the greatest and the biggest drug dealer that ever lived. And then I rethought that, because I never really aspired to be a drug dealer. I just was homeless before, and I just could not fathom my children, my woman, living a homeless life, walking the streets of Miami, feeling left out, feeling lonely, brother. When I was 12 years old, brother, I was already done, man. I was already broken, brother, almost to a point to no return. And so I remember, man, we were hustling, and we started off hustling in the village. And the difference with us old school hustlers from these new school hustlers, see, we didn't get a plug. My plug was the $10 that I started out with. And I grinded, and I was hungry, and I was musty, and I grinded, and I grinded. And I remember one day I had got to a point, I had gave my brother major work. And he called me and said, hey, man, you better get ready to go get some more work. I said, what you mean? He said, man, you don't see these lines of people around here? And so people, I remember a conversation that they had about Uncle Luke. And he said that he wasn't originally Uncle Luke. They told him he was Captain D. They gave him a character, and he acted on the character that they gave them. So they told me, man, you need to buy Benzes. You need to buy Rolex. You need to buy the big chain. You need to do this. And I was like, for real? Because I wasn't really on that. And I quietly, man, unbeknownst to a lot of people, man, like, bro, I could have been as big as I wanted to, but I chose not to. Because I was not a drug dealer, man. I just did not want to see my family homeless and hungry.
So let me take you back. You said at 12 you was nearly broken. Let's go back in time. Before you even reached 12, how was the home life, as a kid, growing up with your mom? Or did you have your dad in the home with you? Did you have any siblings?
First of all, brother, my father, the only vivid picture that I have of him ever standing beside my mother is when I was 25 years old on the run from the feds.
Wow.
I can remember my first grade teacher. I can remember my kindergarten teacher, their faces, their names, and I cannot picture my father ever next to my mother ever until I was 25 years old on the run from the feds. And so my picture as a young boy starts off in the living room, seeing my parents shooting drugs. And not just the shooting drugs, bro. If you wanna run me into a cold sweat, pull out a syringe. That's my kryptonite. Because I can still remember, brother, seeing my mom and my stepdad, bro. They first they got the spoon and they got the little white pie and they heating it up and I'm young. So when I was young, man, them grown folks caught you in their business, they slap your face off. So I had to watch them like I didn't know, bro. And I seen that process. They heating it up and they get that rubber band and tie it on their arm and tap that thing trying to hit a vein. And sometime they'll hit the vein, but sometimes blood will squirt out. Sometimes they'll I see them, they'll hit that thing and I see them slowly. I see that thing taking effect. Right before my stepdad or one of the friends take that same needle, mix their blood in it, and shoot it in there, bro. That's the youngest thing I remember. That starts my whole life. All my mother, her friends, my uncles, all of them shot dope right in front of me, brother. And I seen the whole process. I seen them OD. And I seen how they were bringing the people back that OD. And I just knew, man. I knew my mom was going to OD one day, man. And I didn't want none of them, man, to try to bring my mama back because they probably was ODing themselves. And I had to see how they brought them back, man, because, man, my mama's life was going to be in my hand, bro. And I was going to bring her back, man. That's my early memory.
And you touched on in the book, you said that you was born into the hustle. You would see other, drug addicts, come to the house and your family thought you would just be in the front yard playing with marbles, but you was studying all the characteristics of who was coming and going, their behaviors. How did that, structure your mindset to, this is what I'm going to do, I'm a hustle, or like, for you being street smart as far as, navigating the hustle. Like, elaborate on that, touch on that to me.
To this very day, bro, I have feelings about things. I feel things. And I watch them people come to our houses, but I didn't watch them. I studied them. I studied their movement, their facial expressions, how they talk, how they walk. And bro, I could feel when something just not right. I can feel when to move. I can feel, bro, when something shady about to come in the game. I still do that to this day, man. It's a feeling that I get when something about to happen. And all I was doing, man, I loved my mama so much, I was watching her back. Because I didn't want her to get hurt. But I seen them use the drugs. I seen them sell the drugs. I seen them arming up, talking about the rent man coming to take the rent money when I knew that they wasn't paying up. I knew they was getting high on their own supply. I knew from 6 or 7 years old, I knew what they was doing wrong. And I wanted to correct that because I didn't see nothing else. And we used to listen to that, ooh, Superfly. You're gonna make your money by and by. But if you lose, don't ask no question why. 'Cause the game you know is to get high. High, 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 high. So I never snort. That white powder was an enemy to me because of what I seen growing up and the damage that happened to me before I got 12 years old. And I would go to school, people would never know what was on my mind. They would never know the turmoil that I was feeling. And then at some time I was really so mad about the situation, bro. I would go to a corner, man, and beat myself in the face, bro, till my nose started bleeding, black eye, man. Just, man, why I got to live this life? Why I got to feel this? Why I got to see this? And those are my early memories, man. And so, like, when I was 8 years old, I could have been a kingpin because I already knew it.
So let me go to this point in time when you had actually got a job at Burger King, and that was one of your most positive moments. You said that you saw yourself becoming a manager. You know, how was that innocent feeling of, you know, hard work and understanding until that moment came where it's like either you got fired or something to that, yeah, and it destroyed you.
Yeah. Take
me to that point in time.
So I have a nature to do right. But my grandfather was one of the biggest preachers in Miami. We went to Sunday school. We sung in the Sunshine Band. We went to church on Sundays and Wednesdays, and bro, we were churching. While my mother and them was drugging, my grandmother had a church, and so my nature is a good, honest man. And so I remember just staying in the village, and I seen people selling drugs, but man, I felt like I was just so much better than that, man. And I used to work in the work experience in Northwest, and then, you know, you would go to school for 2 or 3 classes, and then they'll let you go to work. And man, I got my first job at Burger King, brother. And man, you should see, I used to have my brown Cadillacs. We used to wear Cadillacs back in the day. I used to have my brown Cadillacs all shiny, man, with my Burger King uniform all creased up, man. And just like everything else, man, I seen my future in Burger King. I seen it. I seen it every step of the way. That's why I didn't mind taking the garbage out. I didn't mind cleaning the garbage can. I didn't mind getting to the fries because I was always watching that manager, and I knew some things that he wasn't doing right that I was going to correct when I got to that point. I loved my job. And so I remember I caught the double pneumonia. And it took me like 3 or 4 days till my mom couldn't even get me out of bed to take me to Burger King to let them see that I had drastically lost weight is the reason why I couldn't go to work, and I was not healed yet. And so my mom, she set me to the side. I'm sitting, man, just still looking at Burger King. I'm like, man, when I come back, it's home when I come back.
Yeah.
I'm off to move up this ladder when I come out. I'm like, yeah, so I'm like this. I'm waiting on I'm young. I'm waiting on my mom. We had caught the bus there too. I'm waiting on her to come back. And man, I seen her face when she walked back to me. She was shaking her head. And I seen a tear fall out her eyes, man. And I just dropped my head. And she was cussing. That's why you can't trust your own people. She was cussing. They fired you, baby. And bro, man, I went into an immediate depression, man. And I almost wanted to start beating myself again, man, because I'm like, man, why I had to get sick? Why I couldn't just be well enough, man? Why I couldn't be the youngest manager that Burger King ever had, man? And man, that really crushed me, man.
That's deep. In the Chronicles of Big Money, Sonny 305, which is a phenomenal book, by the way, brother.
Thank you, sir.
You describe 4 types of people from the ghetto. Walk us through those 4 types from your perspective today.
4 types of people in the ghetto. Man, you have a person, man, that is rough. It's tough. But they have parents that knew how to groom them through rough and tough. So they didn't hang out with the people that hung out. They went to school. They came in. They made a honest day's work for an honest day's pay. Kind of like in a prison, right? Then you had those who used drugs, dope fiends, heroin addicts. Then you had those that was going to supply the dope fiends and the addicts. And then you had those that was going to rob the dealer, the dope fiend, the addicts, and those good people. It's 4 types, many more. I just touched on a few.
So, losing your job at Burger King, you really indulged in street hustling. Take me back to that time when it's like, you know what, it's time to make me some money.
That bus drive from Burger King to home, it was long and quiet. You know, me and my mom, we didn't really even make eye contact. I just kept seeing her shaking her head. And when I finally made it back home the next day, at the time that I was used to going to work at Burger King, I stood on our porch and I watched the hustlers. I watched them make money. And all we need is a justification. And my justification was I tried to do the right thing. Now I'm finna start the street life. And that's where that began. And so I used to wait till my mom go to work and then do a little peddling. And then one day she caught me. And she had that conversation with me. Son, I can't tell you what to do with your life. Just be careful. And that began the process of Big Money Sonny.
So initially, where did you start off hustling at? Was it your neighborhood? Was it the Ave? Or?
Well, right in the village, you had a lot of hustlers in the village. And you had this light-skinned dude. He used to run a spot called the Doorbell. It was young. And so some kind of way he called me. Hey man, you want a job? Yeah. Back then, people was getting paid $125 a week. And if you ran the bomb, you got paid $175 a week.
What year was this?
This was in 82. So my mama probably was making $225 a week.
Wow.
And this man started paying me my first paycheck. He gave me $350 and he gave me a gun. And when I seen all, he paid me in all 5, so it was a wad of money. When I counted that money, I stopped at like $150 and I had more. I'm like, oh shit. Oh, I'm on like a motherfucker now, boy. And then he gave me that gun. And he used to always say, man, you're a star. Man, why aren't you for protect my gate star? If any man them come there try to do a thing there, man, you do a thing then me go and you kill a blood clot, but I'm gonna send you off to my country. So me say, so I seen him and paid me a little money, so I wanted to be like him. And I hold that cold steel in my hand and I gripped it. I'm like, let's get some money. And that's where it began.
What was the soundtrack back then? What music was you guys on?
So we were still listening to what we were listening to back then. We were listening to the music of gunshots, tires scurrying off, people getting robbed, people hollering, people screaming. The soundtrack was the streets, brother. That was the music. That was our music back then. Focus on this money. Let's get this bread. Let's watch SWAT. Let's keep it tight. That was the soundtrack. The streets was the soundtrack.
What age when it hit you was like, man, I'm knee deep off in this. I'm getting some money. What was the revelation, or what was the moment that hit you?
Man, it hit me, man, when this guy made me to understand, man, that I was probably the most brilliant young person that he had ever met in his life. And then I started telling him how he can improve his thing, because whenever I'm around, I'm always looking at how I can improve. So I'm always seeing stuff that I think that's a mistake that I could correct. And so I gave him some views on some things, and everything increased. And as he increased, I increased. And I remember one day, I said, man, this dude said he gonna look at him or try him, right? So we were living in the village. So I pulled up a scheme. I said, hey, man, look here, man. Somebody snatched my mama chain off her neck, and I need to move her out of the village. And he said, man, tell your mom to find a place to stay, man, and you tell me everything that me want to give and tell her to move. And so, man, my mama found a place. He gave her the money to move. And I'm like, oh. Like I made that pact with God. I made a pact with him. This my man. And if anybody bother him, they bother me. And then I found out how to scheme him and scam him, how to put my stuff in and stack my money up while he was stacking his. And he never knew. And I stacked my money, and I learned, and I grew.
You learn how to twist the packs the same way he did. You learn how to, walk me through that.
So what happened was he found out that I was too valuable to be sitting up in the house serving. So he made me a lieutenant. And what he did, he took me out of the village, and he took me to some houses he had in the suburbs with families that nobody in the city seen, with Mercedes and Rolls Royces that nobody seen in Carol City. And so he took me to this one house, and that's where he packaged everything up. And so when he took me to the house, I'm like, oh, that's the game. You make your money in the city, and you have these big luxurious houses and cars and family in the suburbs. So now that gave me a reason to hustle, because at first I didn't have a reason. And so I used to smoke weed, but I used to act like I was high. And just like I watched them people come into the house when they was getting their drugs, and I studied them. I studied everything that moved in this house. I seen him steaming weed. I seen the bags that he used. I seen the tape that he used. I seen the scissors that he used. He took me to the stationery place where he bought all his supplies, and so I just act like I was high. And I was recording everything. Everything he did, I recorded, and I remembered it. And at some point, I put it in action. Yeah.
What age was this? Around this?
So, you finish school around 18. So around 18, right after school, like when people go off to college after school, that was my college.
Wow.
But man, I was so much advanced than everybody else. And I'm telling you, I used to have a feeling. So something would tell me, go tell them to close up right now. So I'll rush to close everything down, to take everything out of there. And maybe like 30 minutes later, SWAT would come kick in the house. So I had like a third sense, man. It's amazing, bruh.
And in your story, you wasn't a flashy type. You not caught on. The better word to say is you was only more concerned about, the security of having a home, having stability, more or less the flash. What was the mindset for that?
So I'm on this podcast. I'm not an out front guy. I don't need nobody to praise me. I don't need nobody to see me. So buying flashy things and doing things that other people are doing to be seen and throwing parties and all that stuff, I was never interested in that. I was just interested in my purpose and my why. And I used to be so wild, man. They used to thought I was do that Jamaican here. I used to be, bruh. I was with all that, man. I seen my future, man. I seen me getting killed early, man. And man, when my wife, she's my wife now, Corinthia. Man, when she had my first daughter, brother, and I hold my daughter in my hand, I said, man, I got something to live for now. I said, I can't keep on busting this gun around here like I don't want to live. I don't care nothing about you going to Jamaica. I ain't killing nobody about nothing. I got something to live for now. And that kind of like slowed me down. And then I understood that I was to a point that, man, I wanted what he had. I didn't want to take his, but I wanted my family in the suburbs. I wanted my family to live the way they wanted to live. I don't care how I look, but I wanted them to live a life, man, that I didn't get a chance to live, man. And I didn't want them to see what I saw. Just like today, I see my youngsters living a life that they don't have no idea what's going to happen to them at the end. It's full circle.
Wow. So take me to this place and time where you jumped out there and you became your own man, where you was the weight holder and you was the man that, you could do the fronts. And, at what age and around that time, tell me, how you became the man with the plan.
So we had moved to a spot called Victory Homes, close to where Jumbo's at. So everybody in the Dobell got kind of hard in the village. So the guy moved the spot in the Victory Home projects, and we beginning to work over there, right? And so I had this girl. So all of us had to find a girl, somebody, if the police come, somebody we could run in their house. So I found this girl over there. I call her Black Girl. And she was, handled the big bomb for the boss man.
Mm-hmm.
And man, she would steal so much stuff from him and give it to me. I'm like, thousands. I'm like, what you doing? She said, you don't worry about it. You just take it, right? So just to fast forward, I was the general for him. I was the one, whenever time to go to war, I was the one that positioned the men. I was the one to tell them, y'all on the front side, y'all stay ducked down, whoever's shooting on the top. So I was the general. And we just went through a major war with another projects. And so right after the war, the guy that was running everything, he found out that I was selling a little crack on the side because he sold weed. And I had a little bit of crack that I was trying to pump my own stuff up, right? So he found out that I was selling crack, so he called me over to his house. He fired me. Right after he left me with, like, I had dangerous enemies that wanted him, he fired me and left me out there by myself. And my brothers, my friends, and all us that came from the village, they worked for him. So when he fired me, I had to move across the street. None of the dudes who I was their leader, none of them came with me. And so I moved across the street. I started selling my stuff. Every now and then he'll have Jamaicans come up there trying to run me away from around the spot. one day as I pumped up, I started pumping up. One day he stopped coming around the spot, and he was selling like $10,000 a day, from $5,000 to $10,000 a day in weed every day. And he up and stopped coming around. So I went to my uncle, I got me like 10 pounds, and the first day I started making $10,000, $12,000 a day. All the people were working for me. I started pumping up my thing and all of that stuff. And so I don't know what happened to him, but one day him and a lot of Jamaicans came, finna do something to me. And the ladies in the projects, they came out there, give it to me, Sonny. Let them kill me, give it to me. So they got the stuff, they started selling it. And man, it just took off from there, brother.
And so that was weed back then?
Back then it was weed, but we were just going into the crack era.
What year was this?
So this had to be around 84, 85.
So who put you down with the cocaine? Who put you down with the bass?
So, ironically, the guys that we went to war with, they had a big crew. So one day I'm at the gas station, and this dude that I went to war with, they kill us. He rolled up on me at the gas station. But what's up? So I'm like, ain't nothing, what's up? He said, man, what you trying to do? You doing something? I was, nah, man, what's up? So he started fronting me some work, but he had the manpower to back me in case this jerk came with his Jamaicans again, talking about they were going to do something, because they were really scared of this guy. And so I got on his line. And so now I got back, and now I got work. So I came out there, letting them know I got work, this and that and this and that. And I pumped up, and then it was later on that I began to run the whole thing. All of it just fell in my lap just like that.
Wow, stand down.
Yeah.
So what brought you to Brunswick? How did that connection come about?
So I had caught a gun charge in 1990. So I went to the feds, and I left my brother to handle all the street stuff in Miami. And bro, it's ironic, you would think that as much as you teach people that they can run things in your absence, but one thing about a leader, everything runs good when the leader is present. But you take the leader away, everybody, they lose focus. So in the period that I was in prison, my brother left all the spots and he headed to Brunswick, Georgia. So he couldn't really get it popping off like he wanted to, but he told the guy, wait till my brother get out. When my brother get out, you ain't gonna have to worry about nothing no more. So I finally get out. I finally meet this guy to Brunswick, Georgia. Brother, I must have done two things with him. I must have talked to him on the phone the whole life of me and his relationship, maybe 90 seconds. The second time that I gave him what I gave him to go up the road, he went up there and they got caught with a little bit of the stuff, right? But I had this 500 SEL Mercedes-Benz wet look, straight out of Perfect Paint and Body Shop. And this guy from Georgia, he came down there. He was, oh, look at the cold. That's cold-blooded, Jack. Man, how much that car costs? I'm like, calm down, man. You like that car like that? Take it back up there the road with you. When you come back, give me 40 grand for the car. When you come back and bring my money. Take the car. So he took the car to Brunswick, Georgia. The police, the feds catch him in the car in my name, the insurance, all that stuff in my name, right? So they knock him off, lock him up for his own conspiracy. And at that time, I was working for the county, Dade County Parks and Recreation. So the feds came on my job, and they wanted me to say that he bought my Mercedes-Benz with drug money. And I'm like, nah, he stole my car. I let him test drive my car. He stole it. They say, well, why you ain't come and get it? I say, because I heard that he got caught up in a drug conspiracy and I'm on federal probation. So they left. So later on, I guess he figured that he wasn't going to take his time. He told him, hey, the guy who you went and talked to about the Mercedes, that's the guy I was getting the drugs from.
Wow.
That was my connection to Brunswick, Georgia.
So you got some ties to the music industry as well, right?
Yes, sir.
Walk me through that, and we're going to circle back to the Brunswick, Georgia, because there's more that comes with both of those entities.
Yeah. So back in the days, we used to have a DJ group called the Shine City DJs. We used to jam in the village. We used to rhyme. We used to have fun and all that stuff. And so the same guy who started fronting me to work is the same guy that had a game room called Little Rascals. So he convinced us to jam in his establishment, to leave our equipment in his establishment, and we go jam at his place. And he concocted a plan, and they stole all of our DJ equipment.
Wow.
Another crusher. So I said to myself, I say, one day when I get money, I'm going to have the biggest DJ set in Miami. And so I met this guy. I seen this guy. They called him Uncle Al. Sugar rockin' it. And he was the baddest DJ in Miami. He was set that wall up on 15th Avenue and 71st, and you would swear it was like a spring break. But he had a lot of equipment, and his equipment was it was good, but it was raggedy, right? And so I went and befriended him, and I probably spent like $30,000. I gave him brand new equipment to go along with his remarkable style and to put him on the map, right? So his DJ group was called the Sugar Hill DJs, and my part of it, they called the Sugar Hill Roll and Rush DJs.
Okay.
So many people never knew what the Rush mean, but I'm Rush. So they never knew that. For years and years and years, they never knew that, right? And so I would come around, and these two little brothers would be jamming on the mic. They'll be rhyming, they'll be rapping. And then I come to find out that these was the two brothers that was with the original Poison Clan.
Mm.
And I remember we used to go to the Miami Stadium, man. We used to see them rock, man. We used to be on that and on them, right? So I used to go, they be jamming and rapping, and then I had some of the DJ stuff at my house. So Uncle Al would bring them to the house, and they would rhyme. And so I said, hey man, why y'all ain't making records no more? And then the one debonair like, nah, we had a bad experience with Luke, we just, I said, man, let's do something. So we started record a whole album with them, right? I started spending my money, and then one day he tell me, you know what, nah, man, we don't want to do it no more, man. We don't, because what Luke did to us, man, we don't want to do it. I say, man, don't worry about it, man. Let's just chill. I say, because look, when you come to this house and you see the Mercedes and Broncos and Jaguars and all, I say, all this shit mine, man. I don't want nothing from y'all, bro. I was just trying to put y'all on, so that was the beginning of the rap business for me.
Did it pan out for you? Like early on, you said you invested $30,000 into Uncle Al and equipment and things like that, mm-hmm. And it's quite known in the music industry. When you become an investor, you lose out. Mm-hmm. Did you get janked in any situation early on with just being an investor? So, brother,
I gave Uncle Al the equipment. I never asked him to jam at a party for me. I never asked him to do anything for me. Brother, I know I could name another 3 or 4, 5 people that I done bought whole lawn services for. I buy whole companies for people, man, and I wouldn't even let them come and cut my grass. So I never, I never really, really looked for nothing back. And I don't know if that's because, like, I felt like somebody could have saved us when we were homeless, man.
Mm.
I really felt, because we had family, man, and we had people in our family, man, and I think I was more so a guy that always tried to save somebody, man. So I never asked Uncle Al for nothing. He never sent me nothing when I was in prison. The dudes that the rap dude, I had 5 or 6 different rap groups, you know, but none of them, man. Ironically, man, you get behind that wall, man, and you would think that you have friends, but nobody wrote me a letter, man. None out of all them guys that I did those things for nothing. Right? I ain't hear from nobody, man, and I didn't expect anything.
Wow. So to back up to the Brunswick, Georgia situation, in your book, you recall that someone informed you that there was an article written about you guys where arrest warrant was being issued, and you ran a multi-million-dollar drug ring. Like, take me back to that situation and what unfolded from that phone call you received.
Yeah, so I had got a phone call from one of my girl at the time, from one of her cousins. She say, "Hey man, they got an article about y'all. They coming to get y'all. Man, they say y'all selling so much dope up here in Brunswick." He say, "Man, they coming to get y'all." I'm like, "For real?" So what happened was, the guy, he started turning over on me, right? And so, man, they came and they got my brother. They got another guy from up there that I even know. So they rounded all us up in this big scheme, this big elaborate scheme, man. And I remember, brother, they took us to trial from the county jail to the courthouse. Man, they had escort, brother. They had police running the lights. They blocked off the streets. They scurried us in the back of the court. And I'm looking. I'm like, man, what? I'm looking. I'm like, bro, we was getting money, bro, but this what they doing? And so I remember, man, we was in court because we decided to go to trial. And I'm an open book, man. And it's like, if a person ain't think they heard the realest thing that they ever heard from me, I'm finna tell you the realest thing, that not only that I'm gonna share on Surviving Self-Destruction podcast, but I want our young brothers to listen to these words. Man, the feds was pounding me so hard. I would get a letter every day, denied this, denied that, denied this, denied that. And so I don't know if my lawyer was working with them, but he never had good news. Every time he came, it was bad news. And so he told me, he say, they don't really want you. Say they want somebody else. He say, but they don't think that you think that they're serious. They say they're going to call one of your baby mamas to come to court, and they're going to lock her up. And so, bro, I got to get on the phone and prepare her for what's about to happen when she come to Brunswick. And so we went to court that day. They did a little something. They say they were going to lock her up. They grabbed her, but they shot us out the court. Shot us out the courtroom, took us back to the jail. So I'm thinking that they done locked up because they did, right? And so like now I'm like, oh man, it ain't about me no more, man. It's about my family now. And bro, I had some thoughts. I say, man, I might have to tell, man. Cause man, I ain't. And so the lawyer came, he say, they said that you was doing deals in front of your mama. They said that you was, and then they started giving me pertinent information. So one thing, you already locked my girl up. They got my other baby mama on the grand jury, and they keep asking her, they don't bring her into court. So I don't know what she doing. And it just got real. And I'm weak, bro. And I'm gangster though. But I'm saying if it's just about me, that's one thing, man. But bro, you gonna lock my wife up, you gonna lock my mama up for me? So I called my mama one morning. I'm weak. Mama, man, they already locked Samantha up. And they say they coming to get you and Corinthia. And she said, man, let me tell you one goddamn thing. You ain't gonna sell your soul to the devil. I don't give a damn if they come get me and if they come get them, and you let me know how they acting, cause I'll go see them. But you was not finna sell your soul to the devil. You not Jesus. Jesus came to save the world. You ain't come to save the world. You been saving everybody. Don't try to save me or nobody. Save yourself. And although I was still weak, that was enough strength, man. Because I had to make a decision. See, I know a lot of dudes, they going to tell you how much push-up they did, how much not. They ain't going to never tell you that they would think about telling work for the government. You know what I mean? And man, that was one of the realest things that she ever told me. And that's why I tell my young people out here, bruh, y'all beat y'all mama. Some of y'all shoot y'all mama. And the only person gonna be with you, man, at the end is your mama. And after you disrespect your mama and smack your mama up, you in TGK in that county jail, mama, you crying to somebody you disrespect, man. So that's the message to my young people in regards to their mom. Your homeboy ain't gonna write you no letter, homie. He might go try to hit your girl, but bro, you out. They don't care. And they'll tell on you. They might not do how I did. They might not have the type of mama that I had. But man, look here, man. Respect your mama, man. Because she gonna lay it all on the line. My mama, man, may she rest in peace, man. Gave me that strength. When God say when he is weak, wherever you weak at, he is strong. She was strong in me where I was totally weak. And I'm going to tell you this. I asked my lawyer to tell the government, because we read in the Bible that a man said he'll lay his life down for his friend. I told my lawyer, after I wouldn't feed into their scheme and scam to bring down a good man. The man that they wanted me to bring down, he's a good man and an honorable man. And so after I wouldn't go along with their plan, I told them, man, go back and tell the government that I was signed for a life sentence and I would never put anything in court again if y'all leave my family alone. And the lawyer came back. If you don't cooperate with us, we gonna take it to trial and take your life. Let's go. Strap up.
So, in one visit, and I quote from your book, I could still hear my lawyer's voice. It was sort of soft and consoling, yet cunning, when he said, Albert, the feds don't want you, they want him. Butler Campbell. Who was Butler Campbell?
So the name has been changed to protect the innocents. But Butler Campbell is the greatest entrepreneur, music mogul in Miami. And I love that man, bruh. And when I was back in those days, they had task force that wanted to take down our rich black people. And they used people from the hood to scheme and scam to bring down our people. And I say, man, my case wasn't about me, man. Absolutely wasn't about me. Because they could have found stuff on me. The prosecutor told the judge, my lawyer asked the judge in court, he says, why didn't y'all find out where Campbell was getting drugs from? Because for all y'all know, he was digging it up in his backyard. You have no connection, no plug to where he could possibly be getting drugs from. And he said, I have a theory. Because if y'all would have found out that if he was getting drugs from anybody else except Mr. Campbell, it would have threw your whole case off. So you never tried to find out where this man was getting drugs from. And bro, I tell you what, I never heard of this man selling drugs in the streets. And even if I did, bro, I would die in prison, man, before I work with the government and bring down a good man.
So they wanted you to corroborate the story against Uncle Luke?
Absolutely.
How did that come about? What was the connection?
So my last name is Campbell. His last name is Campbell. So they wanted to say me and him was some kin. And I end up selling the group Home Team to his company.
Ah.
And so they allegedly had some people that they were already had lined up, but they needed a star witness. Somebody that was more close to him, or somebody that they could put more closer to him. But the government, bruh, this type of stuff happens every day. You go on your job at the post office. The supervisor don't like somebody, your best friend, that's your coworker. They want him out of there. They'll come holler at you, that's your homeboy. Then you see him do this, you'll be like, no. They're like, nah, I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna tell you. You don't wanna do it? Ain't your daughter in college? Then you just put down on the house? So you care more about him than you care about, okay, well, we gonna link you up with him. And the feds say 87% of the people is gonna cooperate. 87%. That's almost 9 people out of 10, they're gonna cooperate. I don't care how many people they stab, I don't care how many bodies they got. And so they always, because they banked on the fact that I was gonna slander and dirty a good man name. And I couldn't do it.
So during that time, did you run into Luke at any show or anything, or have any interaction with him during that time when all the indictments and all the heat was on?
So very ironic. So I used to go on the road with Home Team because that's my group. I used to be the little hype man, right? And so we were doing a show in Jacksonville one time. So we coming out the back VIP room. So Uncle Luke, he's standing on the wall. And when I passed by him, we locked eyes. I'm a feely type person. You can't hardly get nothing over on me. I might can't explain it all, but I got a feeling to know if it's a happy feeling, if it's not. So he looked at me in a way that I paused, and I looked at him. Then I walked a couple of steps, and I looked back at him. And I kept walking, and in my mind, I'm like, what's up? Bruh, I don't have more money than you. I ain't on women, and I don't have more women than you. I don't have more clout than you. But some say, man, why this? What's up? And so allegedly, when he came to go on the stage, some white people walked up to him and gave him some papers. So he tore the papers up, threw it in the audience. Come to find out, those was paper where he was getting subpoenaed to come to the grand jury on me.
Wow.
And I never knew that they was at me. while all the while they was at him. But guess what? I ain't never sold no drugs with Luke. I ain't never seen him sell no drugs. So I don't have no type of malice about him. That's a scam by the government. That wasn't his scam. And he went to the grand jury. And they were asking him questions. Do you know Albert Campbell? Like, I know of him, but do you know a group home team? So they were just asking him record business questions. You know what I mean? But all the while, you know what I mean, they thought they had got somebody to dirty up a good man name. And so out of all the suffering that I've been through, and I suffered, brother, I lost my daughter while I was in prison. I suffered, man.
Wow.
But I could hold my head up, man. And I don't have to hide like a lot of these dudes. They can't come out, they face clean. I don't have to hide. Because I did not, like my mama said, I did not sell my soul to the devil to bring down a good man.
That's solid.
And I look at him today. He never tried to talk to me. I just look at him with that same look in his eyes. Man, you ain't got to worry about me, brother. I know what the wicked one tried to do to me and you. And listen, let me tell you, very easy. Now, I would have been out and he'd have got 30 years. Easy, man. They teach you what to say. They will tell you what to say. They will coach you.
Wow.
And you would swear, like, by the time they got finished with me, you would swear that I lived with him. I know his mom. I know his baby mom. I know his other baby mom. I know the other one people don't know about. I know. Yeah, bro, it's wicked, bro.
How many times they came at you trying to convince you to cooperate against them?
So they always came through my lawyer. He would always keep sending. So first I had a public defender, and every time I seen him, man, my heart dropped. Every time he came, my heart dropped. So he came to see me one day, and I stood at the door, and I didn't sit down. He like, am I still your lawyer? I said, man, if you don't get up out of here, man, I'll kill you, man. And then I had got another lawyer. I hired a lawyer, but let me tell you this, man. When I was in court, bro, they were talking about so much drugs and so much money till I faded out like I was on the jury, like I was a bystander, and I was looking. I said, man, them niggas guilty. They need to get their ass a life sentence. All that shit, they don't never need to get out of prison again. Boy, and I was looking at it, and then I fade back in. I'm like, damn, they talking about me.
Damn.
And bro, to this day, my wife be saying, where the money at? Bro, they were talking about so much money. My wife still, where the money at? And they followed me for like 5-10 years. Like, yeah, it was a scam.
You said in the book, one of your cellies told you about the judge that was assigned your case. The judge said, God don't exist in here. When cats come through with the Bible, he would tell them, hey, God don't exist in here. You don't need that Bible. You should never broken the federal laws or something like that.
Yeah.
How did that affect you when he laid that on you?
So, my wife, she was my girl then, she's my wife now. I love her so much. She's still hanging there with me. So, she brought the prayer warriors to Brunswick, Georgia when we had a trial. So them prayer warriors, they in the back, I bind them. They whisper, like I bind them up in the name of Jesus. Jesus. Oh Lord, so the judge hit the gavel. Hey, be quiet, I'm gonna put you out. So I promise you, man, while they was praying to Alaboshe, I was praying to God. I'm like, God, if you is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, if you real God, put a Uzi in my hand, man, so I can kill all these crackers, man. playing with my life, man. For playing with my wife and playing with the prayer warrior and for playing with God. Bruh, I was praying. You know, you could get to praying till you get spasms in your face. This was the sincerest prayer I ever prayed. God, or even if you the devil. If the devil is the God, right? Give me a gun. And the judge hit the thing. Look here, man. Look here. I'm the God in this courtroom.
Wow.
And the next time I hear y'all back there with normal, put you in contempt of court. This and that. And then, you know, he let us know, man, he the God in that courtroom, bro.
Young boys don't even know that's how it's going down.
Message to my youngsters. And, bro, I tell you this because I love you, man. You acting, bro. And when you get in that place, bro, and you get in that cold courtroom where you feel like you in the North Pole and your knees shaking, bro, and you gonna regret everything that you did and you ain't gonna be able to take it back. Bro, I seen a dream when I was 17 years old. I had a dream when I was 17 years old. The dream said you gonna go to prison. In the dream, it showed me the prison cell, bruh.
Wow.
It showed me it showed me the shape of the window. It showed me the color of the desk and the locker and the walls. I shared that dream with my brother when I was 18. He's 3 years younger than me. Me and him went to prison together on the same case. And when we walked in that room, I looked around. And I told my brother, I say, Sweet, you remember that dream I told you about when we were younger? He said, yeah. I say, what I told you about the dream? He say, the desk was beige and the locker was beige. When he said that, I looked at the locker. His eyes looked at the locker. I say, what color you say the desk is? The desk beige. I looked at the beige desk. He looked at the beige desk. I say, what about the window? He said, they're going to be long and skinny. I looked at the wall. When he looked at the wall. I had seen it, bruh. Just like a lot of young people, you see it, man. But you don't have enough courage to change it. And I asked myself, this is why I do what I do. I serve this community. And I serve these people, bro, because I seen it and I ignored it, man. And I know my youngsters, I know some of y'all got the vision, man. Some of y'all that's leading others, I know you got the vision, bro. And I know you already seen it. But my question to you is, do you have the courage to change it? Or do you have to look at me and lose all your grandparents, lose all your aunts, lose all your uncles, lose your daughter, lose your mind? And that's not keeping it real, man. Keeping it real is how long you could live outside of the graveyard in the prison. That's the real shit. And this coming from Big Money Sonny. See, I ain't really wanted to come out because I be laid back and all this. I be laid back, man. But, bruh, I could have made you bigger than I seen you. I could have took any person and made them bigger than any person. Ask Convertible Burt. Everybody I knew, I offered them, bro, what you want? I ain't talking about no zone. I ain't talking about how much you could do. Cause I got a phone. I can get on that phone call. What you want, 50? What you want, 52? How many you want? What you want? And so I just laid back, asking. A lot of them dudes they look up to with the bigger chain and all that. The little homeboy sit right back there in the back. What's up? Come to the house later. You know what I mean? And so, and I'm bruh, when you talk about 305, do the history. And I have to talk like this because I'm a changed man. But in order for me to let you know I'm a changed man, you got to know what I've been through. I got to let you know who I was. Man, this that 305 shit, man. If anybody know anything about Perfect Paint and Body Shop, they learned it from me. They ain't know nothing about no Perfect Paint and Body Shop. They ain't know nothing about, look here, man, they ain't know nothing about, you come out there with Uncle Al with them 24 basemen, you come out there this week, we gonna double it up next week till you spend all your money, and mine ain't gonna run out. Cause I can go spend $30,000 every week on equipment and get Uncle Al. That's what I could do. And I'll make it, boy, I can make you big, I'll make you a Ike. I'll make you a Bo Diddley, and I'll lay back.
He was like that.
Like that. And this is what makes my story of redemption so bad. This is my why. Why I do the things that I do. First of all, I'm not the person who I was, and I'm definitely not the person who I could have been by design. I didn't want that. Not only that I didn't want it, I didn't want to put my brothers in harm's way to go take 50 here, 50. Cause I'm gonna tell you about the man, this, bruh. 305 has got its glitter, it's got its shine, but that 305, bruh, don't mess around and come down here and won't 50 and that boy done fell off. You out of here. After he done baited you up and you could drop it off and go to Rolex and they could pop that pussy, you could do all that stuff, and then in the morning it's gonna be packaged up and ready to go. So a lot of dudes came around here, the morning never shined on them. Cause you go drop off and that routine thing, bro, they bust your head. And so I never wanted to put my people in that type of position. So guess what I did? I never sold bricks. I opened up about 20 spots. I'll go around in the spot. I'll scope it out. I'm gonna drive. So first of all, I'm gonna drive up in there in that big body wet look. That Benz is gonna take a minute to turn that corner. And then I'm gonna have the diamonds in that Rolex twinkling so hard that the little girl that's looking up there off the thing gonna blind her. And I'm gonna have them cables on. And I'm gonna drive up in that thing, and in a matter of minutes, I already know I'm gonna have the bomb at her house. I see how they look. I'm feeling all they do. I already know who gonna be the watch out man. I already know who gonna be the bomb man. And I'm wondering, is this space big enough for me to do what I need to do? Because I need some getaway routes. I need a watch out man. I need a crack house. I need this. And so I mapped all this out in a matter of 5 minutes. And they watching the Black Guard. In a matter of 60 days, bro, I'll run a damn community down. And so they knew. I ain't gonna run down the list because it might take too long. We ain't got too long, but man, I'm just so happy to be on Surviving a Destruction podcast, man. Because, man, it's because of people like you, brother, that builds a platform like this that can help God to help me make his name known through a once quiet devil. Quiet. I mean, just because I was quiet don't mean I was good. Because the devil don't always yell. The devil quiet, sit back, be laughing, pull a string. Like the devil advocate, just pull a string. You seen that movie, The Devil Advocate?
Uh-huh.
Bruh, that's my life. The man seen, that's my favorite movie. The man seen he showed it to him. Bro, you gonna let your wife go like that? No, man, I'm the best. I'm the best. So you don't see the man under the table jacking off on the girl who you saying he innocent, but you looking at the man jacking off on the girl, and you turn your head like you don't see it. He showed it to you, but you didn't have enough courage. YN? Why they calling you a YN? They calling you a YN because you don't have the courage. to change a dream, to change a vision that you already see. That's why I got to tell it. I got to tell you what you see. Because you might be looking under the table thinking it ain't really real. I tell you, I see people that done been in prison for 50 years. They was your age, 18 when I went in, and you see it too, but you might not think it's real. So that's why I got to tell you, man. For you ain't gonna never say nobody and never tell you. You ain't see what I got to tell you. The preacher can't tell you, cause you ain't gonna feel the preacher, cause the preacher be under the table too. So you ain't gonna feel the preacher. You ain't gonna feel your mama until you go to court. You'll slap her around. You ain't gonna feel your mama when she cry hard. You don't want to hear that. You don't know where your daddy at, and then when you do see him, he done been going out your life so long, you might want to smack him up. So I'm that one. I'm that one. I'm that Warner. I'm the one that did it for you. I'm the one that did the 20-something years from you. I'm the one that missed my aunts and my uncles and my children. I'm the one. I'm the one. Listen, man. But when they get to talking about how many bins I had, who I hit off, how much I did for Uncle Al and JT Money and Poison Clan and Mr. Mix and Clay D and Eric Griffin, I keep running down the line. When they keep telling me all that stuff I did on the streets, guess what flashed in my mind? Bro, I lost my daughter, man. I lost my family, man. Because I chose the street, bro. I wasn't able to go to my daughter's funeral, bro. I wasn't able to go to my grandparents' funeral, man. And then I look at my brother, man. What would he have been, man, if he wouldn't have followed the devil? Me. What could he have been, man? What could he have been, man, those 20 years, man, that he had to be away from his children like I was away from mine? What if he didn't follow me, man? What he could have been? That's why, man, when I do what I do, man, this ain't no joke for me, bruh. This for the YNs, bruh. You not a YN, man. You a YN because you won't look under the table, man. You a YN, man, because you know where you headed at, man. You don't have the courage, and then you gonna bring your homies with you, and you know better, man. You see what they don't see. That's why you a leader. But you ain't got the courage to tell your homies what you see. You ain't got the courage to say, you know what? I'm a leader. Man, I'm finna take me a trade. And I ain't gonna talk about it. I'm finna go take me some HVAC. I'm finna go, cause I'm smart. I'm finna go take me some electrician. I ain't gonna talk about it. And I'm gonna see if I'm a leader. Then I'm gonna bring it back to the homies. Let's go, man. Let's build a nation. That's why I do what I do. And you ain't gotta talk about it. Scripture say, man, you ain't, when you testify yourself, your testimony might not be true. Ask Convertible Burke. Ask him. Ask him what quiet big head offer you. Ask World. Ask Vicious Vi. And let me stop calling names. Ask him. It's that 305 shit, but I'm a change man. All day. Shout out to OG Gigavelli for helping me in What They Do podcast.
For sure.
For
Shout out
pouring
OG.
in, for pouring life into the OGs, those of us that got some sense now, that understand. Shout out to Surviving Destruction. Bro, you healing me right now, you just don't even know it. I thank God for the day you were born, and I thank God for the idea that he put in your head, and I thank you for having the courage to bring it to the world.
With that, I appreciate you coming on. Of course, it's a part two because it's so much more we need to unpack, man. Your life is a movie, and it needs to be on every screen for every young black boy who's lost, or every black boy who just wants some direction, man. Your testimony aligns. And Again, man, I appreciate you coming on my platform. And with that, hey, it's a wrap.
Self-discretion, probably found gloom.